I want to thank John and Forbes and all of the sponsors for what is truly a remarkable experience. It's silent disco meets the International Science Fair with the background noise of an NBA game. I mean, it's extraordinary to sort of be in a room that's this diversely noisy. But thank you all for being here. So no, the fun part is Mark Gorenberg. So Mark and I actually went to the Schloss Bellevue at the guests of the President of Germany when Steven Spielberg was awarded the highest honor Germany conveys for making Schindler's List. And this lovely American woman, this Texas woman, Mary, who's a friend of mine, comes over and says, "Let me introduce you to my husband." So Mark and I wander over to her husband, Count Faber-Castell, at which point Mark says, "The pencil guy?" And it was just an amazing meeting of Silicon Valley and German nobility. So, which is in a way what's in this room, because you have one of the most diverse groups. But I'll give you a couple of thoughts.
So is AI good for Hollywood? Is Hollywood over? Is Hollywood just getting going? You represented, who are some of the people you represented?
Well,
De Niro?
I represented Robert Redford, De Niro, Kevin Costner, Danny DeVito, directors like Michael Mann, but I helped run
And I apologize to Gen Z and millennials who don't know those people are, but they were a big deal at the time.
Aging agents, aging stars, what can you do? But in any event, by the way, we are probably in the greatest creative period we've ever seen. It was, this is an era when writing has risen to probably the highest level it's ever been, certainly in long form and television. But the sense of where we're going technology-wise, and during the strikes, there was enormous anxiety about what AI might do to the industry. And my view is, firstly, as you talk about AI and entertainment and creativity, you're looking at two different vectors that you have to separate. One is there's the tool side of AI, and then there's the other creative side of AI. Now, tools have creativity, but there is the true human creative side. And just to give you a perspective, one of my portfolio companies, Flawless AI, what they will do is the following, and it's just a sampling. And think of it as the most advanced and most advancing part of visual effects. So if you were a filmmaker and you were shooting a scene, and it was a master scene, it's a master of two people who are in the same image, and you liked the performance in one take of one of the actors, but you didn't like the other, and in the next take you liked the performance of the second actor, but not the first. With the AI that this company has developed, and there are others doing work in this area, you could seamlessly blend them so that it was as if the two performances, under the direction of the director who would be making the creative decision, could be matched, and you didn't have to keep shooting 17 takes until you got it right. Similarly, with expensive retakes, instantly capable of replicating the same activity. Now, will this cost people money as directors and actors with reshoots? Absolutely. Will it bring down the cost of production? Absolutely. And perhaps for one of the most exciting parts of this for me is years and years ago, I moderated my friend Michael Douglas at a panel, and he talked about the fact that all over the world, in each major territory, there was somebody who was his voice, in France, in Japan, and for his entire career and their entire career, they were him. And that people in France never heard his voice. Today, seamlessly, we can not only translate, but we can make it as if they were speaking Japanese, Chinese, French, German, any language in the world, which is going to radically change that.
What an actor is? Like, are you going to have a generation growing up saying, I'm going to aspire to be this kind of creative, a kind of creative that wasn't the same kind of creative that the past generation has had?
No, I think it actually frees up actors to do exactly what they should do most, which is to bring you characters that they invest themselves in, that they live through, that are uniquely created by their collaboration with a director, their own research. By the way, go watch May December and see exactly a very sort of gentle and high level form of what an actor wants to be. Natalie Portman is portraying Julianne Moore as the character in the movie. She's studying her. But what it does do is for audiences around the world, again, with the permission of creators, with all of the right rules, regulations, and compensations, it makes a young person in Indonesia feel as if they are that much closer to the characters being portrayed. Now, on the creative side, we have seen what Midjourney has done in terms of its progression in creating art. And the question that we're dealing with, of which there are many copyright and other rules that need to be worked through, is when you are collaborating with AI on a script or a novel or whatever it is. Now, probably today, if you basically fed information and much of Harlequin romance into any number of large language models, you would come out with a acceptably salacious, novel that would match that kind of audience's taste. But my question is this: Ian Fleming creates James Bond. Ian Fleming dies, and we now hire writers who actually find the voice of Ian Fleming and keep the series alive. Again, with the proper economics and with the proper restrictions around it, you feed enough of the Bond novels into the large language model, and then it becomes the greatest editor for the person who is mimicking the voice.